Guess who's back again. The sheeshes.
Ladies and gentlemen, warm welcome.
That's neat.
Warm welcome back. It is episode 28.
You guys are
Wow.
28?
Listen,
Holy shit.
this only happens once, guys.
Number 28.
Only happens once.
Yeah. It's a moment.
You only get 128.
Revel in
Everybody.
it, man. You know? Like, get it in like a sleeping bag, little
Cozy up with it.
snug. Yeah.
Okay.
This is the Producer Lounge, ladies and gentlemen. Brought to you by
Goddamn
Always
right.
400. It's a podcast about music production. We talk about all the things that are entailed and entitled to be called music production.
We're under the umbrella.
Yes, yeah, quite. That includes everything. How you write a song from the bottom up, specifically electronic music.
Parades.
Parades.
Tends to be electronic, yes.
Parades.
They can be electronic parade.
Parade of
Like
bass.
you're writing the
I
music
like this
for it?
idea.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is how we do the parade. Yes, a parade. You want it to sound like a parade.
Yeah. You want a parade.
Maybe you have a parade of saturation plugins.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying?
I was definitely just thinking like an elephant and an animal parade.
Now we're talking
Oh,
animal
we got
kingdom.
African animals.
You're like,
Let's go.
Yeesh.
You guys got deep real quick. I wasn't ready.
Holy
You're like, what are you guys
smokes,
talking
dude.
about? I was literally the same parade.
Yeah,
Right.
like floats. You know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
people waving,
Yeah.
balloons.
Like root beer floats?
I'm down.
It's dope.
Root bass
Hell
float.
yeah. Dude, root beer floats. All right, we're off topic here. Our guest today is none other than MiMi XX.
That's right.
Howdy, everybody. Howdy, Jess. Thanks for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, where's our audience at?
There
There they are.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, thanks. Hey, thanks, guys. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience.
Yeah, so my name is Victor. I'm currently going name crisis where I have released music with the boys on your guys' label, Always
Absolutely.
400 as MiMi XX. But yeah, just lately I've been kind of exploring where I'm going with my sound and yeah, just kind of hanging out now in between hiatus between MiMi XX and the next project.
Yep.
So
I get that. That'll happen on a big job.
yeah.
So many projects.
Yeah.
We've
So much
all,
work
we've
to
all
be
had
done.
projects.
I think it's about how you evolve too. Like what it is for me at the moment right now is very much just like MiMi XX, you know, that was the name that I came up with when I was 17 years old or something along those lines. Even
Right.
before I even made music, you know, it's just like
Sure.
I had the idea at the time and then like as just time's gone on where it's just there's stuff out there that kind of exists right now that's been released on SoundCloud, YouTube is MiMi XX where it's not really an honest representation of like honest. The fuck am I
current-
talking about? but it's just yeah, it's
current
just, it's not really like the
representation.
current thing that I'm
Yeah.
going for, like what I'm really pushing. You know, I think the next move for me is I have kind of like a specific idea of what I want it to be, so
Yeah.
I left that behind.
Yeah,
at the
I'm
moment.
a big fan. I'm
Yeah,
a
me
big
too.
fan of like thinking of an idea, creating a project for that thing, and trying to move that thing along on its path. I like that shit
Yeah,
a
totally.
lot.
Right.
We do it all the time. We got plenty of projects,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that we're all working toward, and you know, so maybe some one of them will pop off sooner than later, but it doesn't really matter. We're just here to make music, like dope ass music.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So I was thinking about this the other day where it's just I think I was listening to a Talks with Taboo or something where he was making music with one of his old mentors and they were saying, well, they came over to his house.
Shout out
that
Taboo.
This is so much fun, you know, like I used to care so much about music getting released and it was just stressful where it's just I don't necessarily feel if I've ever been in that place where it's just like I wouldn't make music even if it never
Yeah.
popped. I'd
Yeah.
love for it to all make sense, but like I would totally just do this forever regardless, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that how you guys feel? Or-
Basically, yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like I think in my free time at this point, it's my hobby. I enjoy doing it. And it's just okay. I'll tinker around with noises when I got some time to spend with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
For
fun to
sure.
be creative.
It's a
fun to
life
just-
journey.
Yeah. Right.
It's sound, you know? Like it is.
Sound of the underground.
No, but like you can be a painter like your whole life and never be satisfied. I feel like you can do the same thing as like an audio producer. You're just like
Oh, for
you're
sure.
never gonna reach the bottom of that bowl. You can keep scraping and you'll never reach the bottom.
That's definitely the thing about like any artistic pursuit where it's just I guess it depends on the person for sure, but you can't necessarily attribute worth to a financial gain. Hopefully it definitely leads to paying the bills, like equivalating to something. But I don't think it was not worthwhile if it never amounts to anything also.
Agreed.
Where it's
Yeah.
just it wasn't a waste of time. You know, where it's just you live your life, let's say nothing good happened for you and like nothing comes from it. It would be a big old bummer to think of it as a waste of time, and I don't think of it as a waste of time. I met you guys through it. Like, I've
Sure.
had so much fun through it, like, done all kinds of cool stuff, where it is unique in that sense, where it's just, I don't think success should be measured against any, like professional America. I guess.
Achievement or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Right.
Especially, like, monetary gain, where it's just like, dude, I think, like, there's many people out there making banging tunes, like, killing it, where
Yeah.
it's just happens and it's just it's worthwhile.
Sure.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's honestly such a healthy mindset to have, because then, yeah, you're not doing it from like some weird influence of, oh, I'm gonna get like money and bitches and a sea of free drugs at my shows. You know,
Yeah,
those are tempting and those are great, but like it seems like you're doing it just for the love of it.
I just had
and like,
deja vu.
it also
did
just
you really?
Yeah.
All those bitches and money probably triggered it.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
it might just be a justification for me sucking too. You know, like,
Yeah, maybe you're just in
We've
your own
already-
head
yeah.
trying to justify like.
We talk about bitches and money a lot, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah.
that's the curse of being an artist. Goddamn, right?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I fucking love it.
Yeah,
The
me
sea of
too.
free
Just
drugs
sitting
and pussy.
here-
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
No, I love sitting here and just being like, I'm gonna make anything that I want to make, and I'm gonna put in like a ridiculous amount of effort without anybody giving me shit for it, and I'm just gonna sit here and grind on this, and like, I don't know, I don't believe that shit goes unnoticed.
No.
I agree.
I don't think it does.
Especially if you, like we've spoken about, accept the opportunities that come. Like if you put in the work for those opportunities, but then you just turn the opportunities down, sure, nothing's going to happen. Because every time the opportunity came, you turned it down. But if you put in the work and when the opportunities come, you're like, I don't necessarily feel ready, but I'm going to say yes anyways, then pretty sure you're golden.
With
Yeah.
a bit of measurement.
Yeah, there's give and take. That's a very broad brush. But it applies.
It'll
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
be the
Speaking of-
DJ at a 5-year-old's bar mitzvah really
Dude,
quick.
100%, bro. Well, yeah, exactly. That's where the give and take
You
is.
learn those lessons.
Hey, those crowds
Yep.
popping though.
Dude, yeah.
Those crowds
Dude,
are
those kids go
popping.
wild. So much blood. So much blood. Speaking of metaphors, me and Austin were discussing a pretty good one the other day about like a good metaphor for producing, for specifically
Oh.
like music producing.
Yeah.
For people who don't understand like what goes on, basically it's basically fishing. You have to like do all the work that is required to go fishing, all of the things, including getting all your tackle and your rod and
Going to get bait.
all
Get
the
the
stuff,
bait,
all
yeah.
the stuff, and then you sit there at the river. You can see the fish, but you got to keep casting that rod until you catch a fish, and you're like, oh, this is a dope track, cool. But it's not that good of a track, but you're like, cool, that's, I'll release it, and you keep doing it, and you keep getting better fish, slowly and surely. Some days you catch shit. You catch nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other day.
Days you catch, like, just so much fish.
Has anybody ever been fishing and caught a golden nugget? Because that would be the most ideal, right?
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go fishing and catch a golden nugget.
Just a big
You
old rock
catch
of
a
gold.
fish, you cook it up,
And he's got a little
and
golden nugget
lo and
inside.
behold, a nug.
He was laced with
He
marijuana.
ate it. Oh. Laced with, yes, yeah, that works
You
too.
said nug.
Golden marijuana.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was talking about pot the whole time.
Yeah, no, that analogy was super fun
Yeah.
when we were just jamming on it.
And it can even go, it can fractal down to like, oh, I caught a big one. Oh, this one's sick. And then you reel it in. You're like, oh, it's tiny. It actually sucks. Like, I thought this was going to be a good track. And then you're like, actually, this sucks. Like, what was I even thinking?
Yeah,
but it's
right.
all still, you're still practicing. You still did the whole thing. You casted the rod, or you tied the fly, you casted the rod, you reeled it in, you like did all of the work still. So it's still
yeah.
more skill being built, even though the fish wasn't that good, or you caught no fish. So like explaining that to somebody who fishes and doesn't music produce, they can be like, oh, okay, so you have to spend all the time at the river to catch any fish. That's why we spend all the time in the studio, because we have to be in the water the whole time.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to catch any fish from the car.
Well, if you listen to the last couple episodes, we did a lot of talking about mud pies and
Yep.
and we went through processes of being like, these are some steps you would take to make this happen. And that was literally all that.
Right.
What that analogy you're saying.
Yeah, totally.
Where it's like,
Totally.
you set up these things, you try and make them work together, then you take a guess at a way you would manipulate that, and you move forward from there
Yeah.
Right.
and see what you get.
Right.
So I get the analogy. It's also become a better fisherman. So I have a question for you guys. Like,
100%.
let's say we're starting at the beginning of a project now, and I know you guys have
Okay,
made
I'm there.
music for a super long time. We're starting at a blank project, no idea. It's a Saturday morning, and we're just gonna like work on something.
Totally.
What percentage of the time do you start from scratch? Do you think you're actually satisfied with the end goal now? I know it's increased, but not the end goal, or just like even the idea that happened in that session where it just didn't end up like being like, ooh, this is just complete bullshit. Because it does go up, like as
Yeah.
you keep going.
I'm easily over half now. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I'm like in the 60% satisfied range.
Wow,
40%
that's good.
unsatisfied.
With anything
good.
that tends to come out.
Yeah, because also
it.
I spend that whole time going like, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. And then I sit there and like put those together a couple times, like, no, yes, this combo works. And I'm constantly refining it. So when I leave the desk, it's something I like. Like I don't leave the desk if it's something I don't like most of the time. Like I hammer through until it's a vibe. At least on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Like I have
You
6
got some
hours to
time.
burn. Like it's gonna be good by the. Or
If
it's,
if
gonna
you
be.
get
It's
the
gonna have
long
legs.
session,
Yeah, it's gonna have
Yeah.
legs.
the long session, what I tend to do is like basically just make noises for a long time with a BPM in mind and a key in mind. And that's all. Like I just will spend, so like the first few sessions on the track will be a lot of just like, let's make some more noises and sit there and like tweak on shit,
Right.
make more mud pies and like really like push until something interesting is starting to kind of like catch my ear. And I know I have like a bunch of content that I've already created that's in there that I could use for different little peppering around. That's all different. And yeah, like there's a lot of room to like, now I can push this through a full track length.
Right.
Because I would like things to be always changing and like you got to keep some semblance of an idea happening throughout the whole thing, and you want it to be simple, but you also want that definition of like, if it was a band, every single hit is not the same as the other hit. It's always
Right.
different. Every
Right.
single little guitar pluck, even if it's the same thing, it's always changing slightly because it's human.
Mm-hmm.
You're one of the best I've ever seen at the super loop. And again, I'm
He is a pretty good super looper.
I'd imagine that like most people listening like know where it's just like where you're just kind of like stacking ideas and like you've done it better than most people, and it's also a unique kind of workflow where not everybody works that way. Where I've seen in your projects where it's just like a bunch of things until it gets to that one, and then you're also the best where I've noticed, and this could be a helpful hint in like production that I don't implement because it's just not really what I do, but like I think it's super impactful in your music where like once you do find that right timbre, that right noise, or that right progression of melodic elements, you kind of go in, it seems like, and tell me if I'm incorrect in saying this, that you go in and you manipulate each individual hit like you were talking about just a little bit ago, where like even if it's kind of a constant melody, the difference between the hits and the pitching on the specific notes and that melodic development are different. And I think you kill it on that. Like,
I'll just basically just build it in to the content that I'm working with. So if I have something, I like to have it have some kind of pitch manipulation going on, like almost always. Even if it, like one of my favorite ways to do it recently is I just take a chorus, or no, not a chorus, a comb filter, and I'll have it like not like aggressive, but it's definitely like doing a lot of boosting, and I will put a random modulator that it basically tells the cutoff to kind of change every once in a while, just a little bit, and it will always kind of sound like it's pitching, even though it's just moving a bunch of nodes,
Right.
like EQ nodes, like
it's like
so
a big comb.
It is, exactly. Yeah, so it does like a, even though the pitch is the same the whole time. It just sounds like it.
It's like squeezing harmonics slightly over real quick as it moves past them or something.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
But if I have like, I will have one of those on like almost everything, just because I love that sound when it fucking does a little, and then whenever you go to build it out from like a loop form, you already have a bunch of options that are all different anyway.
And it's all baked in.
All you have to do is just like switch between them.
It's a bunch
You
of
just
audio.
have to do the like work of just going to the next one and changing it every time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll pay that attention, but I make it easy for myself,
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're creating the super loop in a flow that once you find that thing, then you're gonna like piece it apart from the rest of the super
Then
loop.
it just like unfolds.
Yeah.
That's a
quickly.
great idea. I've actually
Exactly.
never thought of it that way, but that does make sense. Because I've always noticed, just looking at your projects from like the back when you're playing them, it's just like the melodies are usually like cut up, the individual notes, and like some shit's happening to them. Whereas like I feel like a lot of people, there's many different ways to program movement, but I'm just like, he's always doing like something fucking weird. I've made music with you, where it's just like I've seen it, like,
Fucking weird. It's called Mud Pies, baby. They're called Mud fucking
Yeah,
Pies.
we did last week was melodic mud pies, and we talked about like making mud pies, but with more melodic elements. And I
was a
think
good
it's literally my
Go back
favorite
and
way
check it
to
out.
do
Go
like
back and check it out.
mid-range information.
Folks, you can find that on our YouTube channel,
That's right.
which all those links are at always400.com.
Always 400.
Oh, nice.
Back to our previously scheduled program.
Oh, look at that.
Hey guys, we're
Wow.
back. Welcome back to Producers Lounge, episode 28.
Wait, it just cut back to the same picture.
Yeah, I just took it back.
I was like, where were
You just
we?
wanted to flex the new.
Last week
What's it
when
called?
I would switch to this one, I forgot to put the audio input. So when it would switch to this, there was no mics. So when I was doing the post production, my bad, folks. When I was doing
just
the
get
post
muted for a
production,
sec.
yeah, it's just muted. I was like, whatever, print it. There's nothing I can do. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't
no,
get
it's
that
fine.
audio back.
It's
It's gone.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
You find like a piece
Sorry,
of the
it's-
audio that's silent where we're not talking, and then you just slice it through.
Just a little bit of noise.
starts a rhythm because you're duplicating it.
And then I just insert a quick
crossfading.
beat. It's like,
Oh man, if only we had time to do these kind of cool edits and things.
man, I'm telling you, folks,
You gotta hit
the
those
amount
buttons.
of content.
Dude, they do take a
You
long
gotta hit
time.
those buttons. Got the subscribe
Hit
one,
the subscribe
the
one.
notification button.
Yeah.
Hit the
Bell so you
follow,
know.
hit the share, hit
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Instagram, whatever the things are.
Hit your mom.
I don't know.
Your mom.
Don't do that.
I mean, I hit your mom last night,
oh,
but you
hey.
shouldn't.
How long are you spending doing your podcast edits?
With renders, it takes about like 4.5, sometimes up to like 6 hours if
Wow.
it's on the back end of the month and our internet's throttled. It takes
Oh.
forever to upload.
Yeah.
It'll take forever to upload.
That's still pretty good time though, considering
Yeah.
you're doing like the video renders and everything.
I've that's because I've like streamlined it all, so it's all pretty damn quick. I know what I'm doing, but yeah, it can be tedious. I have to do it first thing in the morning, like
Yeah.
tomorrow, or else it ends up being Sunday
Right, a
afternoon, and
whole
I'm
thing.
like, it's still not done. Like, oh my goodness, it's supposed to be out on Friday.
Right.
Crap.
I've been doing a lot of podcast editing myself lately for like different podcasts, and there's
Oh, cool.
one of them.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Really?
Let me
Yeah.
know if you ever have too much work.
Dude, I came to you and tried to give the
Yeah,
job
but
to you.
nothing ever happened to that.
Yeah, well, it's happening and it's on me now.
Oh,
But,
you should have said something. I was like waiting for word back.
But that
You
one
didn't-
takes about 5 to 6 hours of just audio editing each episode. It's a heavily edited podcast, and like
Yeah,
it's for
that's-
sure tedious work.
I want to talk to you more about that after the pod.
Yeah, drop something.
You piece of shit.
What'd you drop?
He couldn't hear that. He has headphones on.
Yeah,
so.
you could.
I
Dude,
could.
you broke it. What the hell, dude?
Oh
It's just the screen protector that's broken.
We have
Um,
Egyptian marble floors here in the studio, folks, as you can see behind us, and it's pretty tough. It'll destroy phones.
I dropped the hair tie that was on my wrist, not my phone.
Yeah, and
Like,
the
I
hair
didn't- I
tie will
wasn't
shatter.
Reaching for my wrist.
Yeah.
I wasn't reaching for my
So,
phone.
folks,
We're talking.
What a riveting little section of the podcast.
What
we just
we're
had
saying
here.
is,
Fantastic.
this is walnut, Ethiopian, right? This is Ethiopian walnut.
Yeah, you got to
right?
be careful.
Yeah. Don't spill.
West Ethiopian
David.
walnut.
And then that's Egyptian granite. Is that what I said? I think it's
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're still on
Egyptian
point.
granite.
Granite.
Yeah. It's real hard. It's like next to diamonds. It's like it's pretty hard.
This wood is
pretty
Egyptian
dense.
granite.
No, this is Ethiopian walnut.
Yeah.
Oh,
West
Ethiopian
Ethiopian
walnut.
walnut.
West. Oh,
Yeah.
see, there's a big difference between east and west.
There is, yeah. East is less dense. We had to go for the dense because
Yeah, the densest. This
we are
table
big,
is
strong basemen.
750 pounds.
Yeah. Imagine
Dave
getting
also
that down
dropped
some
something.
stairs.
He's gonna
He
go
dropped
get
it
it from over
way over there.
there. So what kind of tunes you been making lately? What any new tricks you're stoked on in Ableton or what?
Dude, definitely.
Got any
So
juice?
yeah, I'd actually
Give me the juice.
So I'd love to talk about this. So one of the biggest things that I've been hyped on is I use Max for Live super well. So
Sure.
I don't know if most Ableton users like do use Max for Live devices, but there's a
They
whole
should.
They should, yeah.
Goddamn
definitely.
right.
It's huge.
So-
Convolution alone is gigantic.
That's honestly not the secret sauce, but like I very much like enjoy, especially when I'm not trying to have like a writing session or something that needs to be productive. Like I enjoy just like going and downloading like weird Max for Live devices that people have made.
Yeah, you've always been hyped on Max.
Yeah,
And you tell me about it
yeah.
every time we kick it, and then I just like forget about it the next day. I don't have I have Convolution and that's it, and like whatever default is in Ableton. But I need to
Convolution's
fucking
super
check it out.
sweet, man. Yeah. You want to know what actually does the best convolution that I found?
What?
Do you ever use Isotope trash for convoluting things?
I don't have trash, unfortunately.
Ooh, dude. Have you guys have trash? Do you guys
Oh,
use
yeah.
it for convoluting? I think
Yep.
I wish
used
you
it,
could
like-
do more manipulation within it. It does
Agreed.
give you some like good thing with the width and then like just like
I don't like the
gain-
mix knob. I like the mix in
Wait,
better
so I thought
in
trash
mix.
was purely just distortion.
No,
stuff.
It's got a
no,
couple
dude.
things.
So
What?
trash is also
What?
like,
They
dude,
show you.
Wow.
it has different algorithms at the bottom. So like you can just
We're
use
set up
trash
to
as
show this
delay.
off,
You can
Okay.
just use trash as a
professional show.
filter.
Professional. show.
What the
And
fuck?
one of the coolest ones is that you can just use trash to convolve things. So you can feed signals into it, and then they're being, what is that? Convolution cross synthesis?
I like that.
Like convolution
words.
cross synthesis?
Sure, yeah.
You can convolve a sound.
Yeah, I'm down.
I think
I'm
those
down.
are all like right words.
Yeah, no,
too.
it's you're
But-
painting the image in my head, so that's all that matters. Yeah,
That's a neat serum skin.
I hate it so much.
No, you
Everyone
see,
loves it.
I like simplicity, man. I'm a big fan of simplicity.
I think I only hate it because I just can't
Nothing
see
is
it.
more simple
than Windows 98.
Windows 98.
Dude, do it with just.
Whoa, that's sick.
That's a
my
preset.
that's my new foghorn preset, baby. I just made this the other day.
I thought you
Oh,
just
it's
made
your
that just now. I was
preset.
like, how did you?
Yes.
Oh, hello.
You take this and then you slam it into a clipper, and that's when you get all the and you get all the tonal flappies because
Yep.
it's all dynamic, and it's dynamic because of the pitch.
Oh, it's like detuned.
Yeah, and then you automate this.
Little Reese boy.
Yeah, it's basically a really high pitched up Reese slammed into distortion.
With
Sounds
the
cool.
sub.
Yeah, and then the reverb it's just for extra fuckery.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need
I like
it.
this. I like this preset right here.
Yeah.
Because
I'm a
like
fan
this
of
is
it.
it. You just add this.
For that rhythm, baby.
All right. So let's just make this into a quick sound. We're looking at trash real quick.
Yeah.
Trash 2, you mean, right?
Yeah. I think
This is going to be a good example of trash.
Yeah, it'll be a great example of
Convolution
trash.
too.
the easiest way with trash would actually it'll work with this. A sine wave into it is super solid with the animal algorithms, just because like it turns them into like moos and
Oh, right.
cat noises and stuff. Yeah.
Or probably like a saw even would be really good.
Yeah, like any basic waveform. I like convolution better with like simple tonal kind of content feeding into it.
Mm-hmm. It's doing left and right EQing basically. I mean, intense like filtering, like EQing. You gotta turn it on. Oh, you're distorting it first, I see.
That's so sick. I usually go straight for like body,
I think
and then I like hollow sounds sick.
Oh, all of a sudden it's wide.
Yeah.
It's
go to the animal ones because I feel like that can show what convolution can do, like what convolution does to a noise.
There's animal presets.
Yeah, it's best to feed it simple waveforms. Well, it's not best, obviously. Like these are sick. That's a sick noise still. But just for like understanding what it does. But yeah, so if you just select, if you turn on that convolve at the bottom, if you ever do get it, and then
turn the trash back on and dial it back a little bit, and then try the convolution. Get a little more frequency content going in there. It's like hissy. Was that one Toad? Yeah, it kind of sounds like a frog.
Never on sign. I guess maybe.
Caleb,
Yeah.
instead of foghorns, you can make frog horns.
you for sure can. Like, dude, in Ableton's convolution algorithm, you can load in straight up like a cat meow, and if you're just feeding a sine wave into that, Like, dude, it just turns your sine wave into a subby cat meow.
That's so sick.
Which isn't like useful necessarily, but it's like it's kind of neat, man. So,
Oh yeah,
like,
it's so neat.
so there's
It's
cool
so
stuff you can do with that. Like, say you come up with a wobble phrase, or you come up with a cool little like synth riff that you
Folks,
like, and
I'm
you're like, this
sorry.
is really sweet.
Sure.
Shove a simple waveform through that's convolving with that waveform, and it very much
Okay.
takes on the waveform dynamics and envelopes that are associated with the waveform you input into the convolution algorithm.
Okay.
And like, dude, it's just kind of like a neat. I just like been enjoying it. Your stuff like neat body, and it's like a cool thing to play with.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, it's
I could
quite
see
fun.
that.
Convolution's sick as fuck.
Yeah, Convolution's sick. The reason I like Isotope is because it just has like the best buffer and it's like the least finicky. What I don't like about it, I think there's also ways, and I don't know, I think there's ways you can import your own convolution like impulse responses where like if you just
Into trash.
yeah, you just save them to a certain folder on your hard drive and
Probably,
then like,
yeah.
I think that, but
That would make sense.
so I think there is ways to do it with Isotope. You just got to look and read the manual. But I really, really like convoluting things, especially thin kind of mid noises where noise is like cool, but it's just missing body and oomph and gusto.
And
I find
stage.
Yeah,
Excuse me,
I find
stage.
I find that convoluting often is like a better solution than EQing and a lot of the time
Ooh.
for me. You can just
Interesting.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Yeah, I'll have to play with that more because lately, with a lot of my like weirder sound design, it a lot of the time lacks like that kind of like body and presence that I kind of want with it. I have to play with that shit.
Yeah. So can you mute it real quick? Austin was in the restroom. Show Austin the blank noise and then show him
Yeah.
just like what happens.
Yeah.
Nice. It's nice.
What is that?
Just bypass it.
Was this just a sine wave too?
No,
That was a Reese. It was just a sine wave, and the second one's detuned by 2 semis. So it's just
There is distortion on it.
Swag.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
distorted it.
Okay.
Lee Kester combo. Remember that, boys and girls.
Like Kester.
Okay, so basic sine wave. I'm going to reduce the drive a little bit. So there's just a basic sine wave. Let's do this. Whoops.
Ooh.
That's how it's done. We all
That's
know.
how it was done.
And then let's go to some weird stuff. Let's go to vowels. Oh, that puts it in a weird spot.
It's like in my
And
left
then-
ear.
You also have different microphone
It is in your life.
algorithms.
Which I don't like those microphone algorithms. They're cool for a different body, but I don't think they actually represent dynamic condenser and a ribbon mic well.
I don't know if they do either, but I flip through them a lot.
It's a bold
Yeah.
statement, Vic. Wow.
Yeah.
They
Wham.
don't. They don't.
Cool. Okay.
Maybe like that specific dynamic condenser and ribbon they were using, but
I have no
but
idea.
for real, all he's doing is convolving right here.
These are
See what I
vowels.
mean? Like,
Yeah. It
Like,
sounds ridiculous.
Well, I mean, you think, then you go to like weird stuff like this.
go to the animal noises. Show him those next.
Yeah, do the animals. Some aminals. What?
Dude, convolving is the shit. The sine wave, boys. That's it. The toad is dope. Go to the toad.
Oh.
Super low.
Fuck,
So
dude.
anyway, let's Jude, sign up for Isotope's email list because once a month they come out with a deep discount where trash is like $19.
No shit.
Yeah,
Really?
and then
Okay.
also Black Friday is coming up.
Oh,
So,
that's
like,
right.
dude. Make a list of all the ones you want, and then just like go through. I'm good at. Last year was the first year I capitalized on Black Friday,
Oh, okay.
and it was solid.
And you got the
I got-
hookup.
Just got what I wanted, like.
Cool.
I'm not a
Yeah.
plugin collector. I'm
Yeah.
definitely not a plugin collector, but there are neat plugins that like I want, and I try-
Totally. There's this one I keep hearing about, which is really sick. Have you guys heard of XO
Sorry,
by
folks, I got
XL in Audio?
distracted.
Have you heard of it?
This is how it is.
Dude, it's really cool. It's basically just like a sampler, and it has a sequencer built in, but it basically organizes your samples based off of like tone and
Oh
length.
yeah, those are cool.
XO by XL. And actually, Caleb, will you pull it up?
No.
Because please, yo, audience,
Pass
should
me the
Caleb pull it
lighter.
up? Yeah, suck it.
Here,
Pull
I
it up,
got you.
Caleb. But basically, when you see it visually, it'll make a lot more sense. But it's just
There's
like,
two like this. There's two different plugins like this.
oh,
FYI.
interesting. I don't
Yeah.
know about a second one.
I don't know if this is the better one or the not so good one. And
I heard
This is the better
Z
one.
talk about this one, Zebler and Canty experience.
there's a smaller,
Yeah.
there's a smaller, more like this one is a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
The other one's like a little more cut and dry.
Okay.
I'd rather get this one because I'd rather have more options.
Yeah.
Like
and
it's
it
like-
just looks cool.
It's like between Windows and Mac. It's
Pretty
like
much.
they're just as powerful. It's just this one's got a dumb interface for dumb people. Excuse me,
Mac.
different interface for different people. And as I have an iPhone.
Well,
I know, right?
Is
Yeah.
this one's PC only?
No, I'm just equating that as an analogy.
Caleb Mansfield,
Mac.
everybody.
Hey, Steve Jobs, make a better interface. It sucks.
Stop being a fuck.
Don't call it.
Yeah,
never
so
mind.
Victor, basically, and if you guys don't know, it's basically just a sample organizer kind of thing, and it has a built-in sequencer and like a fun effects just for the sake of because they can, kind of thing. But I feel like it's a really cool way to organize your samples because what it does is it bases everything off like tone somehow and maybe length a little bit and like how much high end or low end or mid range certain things have. And it makes this like weird web of information for you that are like all your kicks and snares and hi-hats. So if you find a hi-hat you like, you can find another similar one somewhere right next to it in
or
its little
maybe
pocket.
a similar snare. That's
or a
sitting
similar
there.
snare.
I
or
think I've
kick.
heard Mr. Bill talk about this before.
Yeah, that's where
yeah.
I heard about it too. Yeah.
It is neat.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So you got
It
like
is neat, man.
snares
Yeah.
are blues, kicks are red, claps are orange or whatever, and they're all kind of. And I think you can just click and drag around, and it's going to be like.
Yeah, it'll just do the. Yeah.
Can you? Is there a demo that I can hear? Can you show me this?
Maybe. Yeah.
Because that's fucking neat.
It's super
It's
cool,
like
right?
that American DJ library thing or whatever they got made.
Oh, you talking about like the Congress?
Citizen
Wait,
the
are these
BBC
the same
one?
guys that make.
Yeah, the Congress one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, right.
It's like that. It's a sound map.
right, exactly. Yeah.
This is the same dude to make addictive drums.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Which is
And what's
epic.
also really cool about this is like we were
It's only
talking about.
$130.
Oh,
you were
dude,
talking about.
Black Friday. Let's see what it
I know.
costs.
Yeah. Here we go.
Dude,
right.
make a list, man. Like last
Dude,
year,
I wanna get this,
Last year
yeah.
I killed it, dude. I think I came out like so many dope fucking.
And you can retrace your steps.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So it's basically that, and then it'll show you. Yeah, and there's their little
It's got
sequencer thing and fun
sequencer.
other random shit
Which
if you
I'll
want to use
never
it.
Just like,
use.
especially if you're uninspired, just to like play with the loop, and then if you end up with something sick, export it for yourself.
Totally. Right.
Dude, I'd like to talk to you guys about samples if you want.
Yeah. Totally.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah, this,
bitches
Always
and hoes.
400.
this,
Hose.
this is exactly what I was missing from my check.
Um,
That
what really?
bass was
Oh yeah. No, go ahead.
awful.
How what are your guys' sample libraries like? Because, and the reason I ask is one of the things that's benefited me greatly is I'd say about 5 or 6 months ago, I went through like my whole sample collection. I still have it on
And
like
you
external
organized it?
drives. I didn't organize it. I just picked like from it because dude, you're ending up with
Oh.
terabytes worth of information.
Yeah.
I just picked from it stuff that would like be useful for production that I'd be hyped to use all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
from that, I got maybe like 16 gigs of samples, and I don't sample. I sample drums a lot, and like song starter kind of things.
Sure.
But dude, like all I have is about 16 gigs of samples that I use. Like, are you guys working from like Fat Sample Library, Splice, or like do you guys
Yeah.
like limit? Where it's just like these are
Both.
the motherfucking samples I use, and I'm down with them, and like this is it, and like that
Yeah.
was. I don't really spend a lot of time looking for samples anymore because I don't.
It probably feels good to just be like, you go through your kicks folder and you're like, oh, all of these are sick. I'm gonna use any of them.
Yeah, and there's still like 300-400, but
Yeah.
like it's like a
More than you like would probably ever need. Yeah, I'm still in the phase where it's like I'm hoarding so many samples, like way too many.
Too many?
And I'm going through all of them, and like 90%. Oh no, that's an exaggeration. But like I hear so many snares where I'm just like, I would never use that. Or you hear a hi hat and you're like, why is that even in the hi hat folder?
hi-hats
Or something, and they're just-
I don't need a bunch of hi-hats. Like, I'll
Sure,
figure-
yeah.
I cut my hi-hats from break samples. I don't even
That's a good way to
ever
do it.
use like I never use a one-hit hat sample. Like it's always coming from like a analog recorded break sample or something.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, like I don't.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
never use like a hi-hat sample.
Mm-hmm. I
So
had this like weird idea in my head. Sorry, who did I interrupt? I couldn't
No
tell
one.
who that was. Oh,
No one.
cool. Fuck you guys then.
Victor.
I'm going. Oh,
What?
well, fuck him then. I like the idea for some reason of just having like an absurd database of just like you can pull all information and all possibility from. This is a whole nother topic, but I've discussed.
on.
Yeah,
Go on.
we can do this another pod. But like the idea that like AI will potentially one day make all sounds possible, and I guess I'm trying to build a database to just have like an infinite amount of source to choose from, infinite amount of tone, and even if it's like a tone is shitty in a moment, you might make a lo-fi track and be like, oh, that shitty, terrible hi-hat is
Oh, for
perfect for this
sure.
vibe.
Exactly.
For sure.
Right? Yeah. And
Yeah.
like typically I like clarity and like super like clean,
But
kinda
sometimes you
sounds.
need a dusty.
Yeah, but sometimes,
yeah,
right?
Like
you
a
gotta-
dusty ass snare, bro. Like
Yeah.
that's my
Yeah, dude.
shit.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everything
A
needs to
doofy
be
boy?
tight except I need a goofy snare, dude. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to be tuned or anything.
Right.
Like, I want
Mhm.
A little bit of air on it. Just.
Yeah, yeah, right.
So what you been holding in, Playboy? What you been holding in?
Nothing.
You're like a balloon that's
this?
about to pop. You're like a balloon.
I just pop, bro.
There's the noise.
I was gonna say I like an endless, dark, deep hole of samples.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go. I should
It's all a
favorite
lie,
that.
though.
What?
What? What's
It's
all?
all a
that?
lie. You're just sitting there. But then you don't have your sonar works on that shit.
Exactly.
Oh
for
my
sure.
god,
Lying
I
to
know,
you.
right?
Yeah, it's a bummer, but that's why I just want a bunch because I have no idea.
Right.
There's plenty of times where I'm like, I don't know what to do, and I'll just drag a bunch of random perk samples into a rack and start fucking programming random MIDI and flattening it down, and then just start fucking with shit because I don't know what to do, and I need a bunch of random samples for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I have Splice, which is where I'll like. It kind of depends. I'll be like, I need a hi-hat. Sometimes I'll search in my sample library. Sometimes I'll go to Splice. Sometimes I'll do both. It's just kind of random, but I have both. And I like having shitloads of samples.
Yeah.
All kinds. Although I don't like bass sounds. Like, I don't need bass sound samples.
Yeah, I have like 5
I don't-
bass sounds.
Don't give me that.
Dude,
Why would
if
I
you,
want that?
If you can,
Yeah.
None
if
of
you
those.
can involve them, they're sick though. If you use
Probably,
those
right?
as your convolution like starting point,
Totally.
I love having bass samples for that.
I mean, I'll
Just
make
to
my
use
own
as-
bass samples for that. Personally.
Sure,
I don't want
right.
to download bass samples from like Splice or have them from sample packs. For some reason, that to me is like against the goddamn
That's
law.
the instrument you're playing.
It's
yeah.
The bass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like, get the fuck out of here.
So before you
I
answer,
make
then
better
Dave,
bass
little
patches
sidebar.
in my sleep.
How big is your guys' like personal
Dick.
homemade sample folder? Like, are you guys adamant about saving every bass and every snare kind of thing you make?
No.
No.
I have a good amount of patches,
Okay. Yeah.
but I don't. No, I make all my kicks from scratch in Kick 2 every
Yeah.
time, and they just
Good
live
way to
there
do it.
forever and die. I just make a new kick every single time
yeah.
because I want a new one every time. Snares is random. It's just like random shit from Splice or random shit from mine, and sometimes I'll layer them and make a new one. Sometimes I won't.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all what's happening. And hi-hats, I use lots of samples all the time, like little one shots. But I'll go through. By the time the track is done, the hi-hats are the bastard child of the track every time. they get redone like 3 times as
They're
much
such
as
a pain in
everything
the
else.
ass.
Like,
Really?
yeah. Oh, I'll refresh hi-hats almost every session.
Weird.
I'll like make
You
a new
too?
sound.
Okay. Huh.
I won't do that.
That just sounds like the least fun session for me to have.
No, I love it.
Bro, like I fucking.
Oh, I love new
That's-
hi-hats.
Oh, you see, you guys are drummers though. I
I
kind
love
of get
new
it.
hi-hats.
Yeah.
It changes the vibe instantly, and you're like, oh wait, these are sick.
It really does.
I
Yeah.
fucking love it.
Yeah, I'm not changing them up a lot, but I am changing them.
I just
Yeah.
they make a big difference in my brain the way I hear the track. So like if I put in a new sound and I like that sound a lot and the hi-hats aren't jiving with it, I'm like, it's easier to find new hi-hats than
Right.
it is to make a new sound.
Oh, so do you make your hi-hat patterns in MIDI? Are you a MIDI
No.
drum guy? No? You just
And it's not about the patterns, especially when I'm making like 4 on the floor.
Sure,
It's like
sure, yeah.
a break style hi-hat thing, like some kind of tambourine or shaker that's like on the 16s. The open or 2, so I have 2 variations or whatever, and then like 1 auxiliary hat of some kind. But I can replenish those in an hour session. I can find
Yeah.
dope new vibey ones and have them laid out and mixed basically with the track in an hour. Easy, real quick. All I got to do is search real quick, bring one in until one jives, and then it's off to the races.
All right.
Yes. So, if you're wondering how long it takes to switch out hi-hats and you think it's fast, it is. It's real quick. It's an hour. That's all.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fast.
It's just an hour.
And that's not having them in MIDI even.
No,
you
yeah,
just had them in
that's,
MIDI.
That's all
Like,
audio.
yeah.
That's all me placing it in there and fading it. But
It's
that's
pretty
'cause I
quick,
can
though.
do
You
that.
can just duplicate and,
yeah,
like,
it's pretty easy.
You're going through it. And
Yeah,
It's
you see the
an
pattern,
hour
you
is
just have to-
probably even more than you need.
And I would
I've actually-
probably,
It's
Right.
probably more like
There's
20 minutes.
There's
Yeah.
there's neat shit, but also
Yeah,
that's
that's true.
a
It might be
shitty
faster.
20 minutes to work
And-
on. I fucking hate working on hi-hats.
it also
Fucking
depends
hate working
track
on
to track.
How
At
high
most,
you are.
at most an hour.
It's like the worst
What time of
fucking
day
noise.
it
It
is.
just takes up like all kinds of
Constantly
high-end
just
sizzle and
turn your
But that's
speakers.
why-
Hey,
I also hate unpurposeful hi-hats. I hate hi-hats for the sake of hi-hats.
true.
Oh, yeah.
Turn your speakers down. It won't sound as harsh if you turn the speakers down.
Oh, dude. Yeah,
Okay,
of course. But
okay.
like, there's
Wanna
still not
make
like
sure.
a fun thing to work on.
Disagree.
But also,
I
I
don't
feel like
hate it
there are
because the
hi-hats that
sizzle,
sound
like-
good. I feel like I've definitely heard hi-hats where I'm like, ooh, I enjoy that hi-hat.
also, you shouldn't
know?
be soloing them. You should be working on with like the rest of the drums. You're just
Yeah.
working on the hi-hats.
So this is
But I get what you're
interesting.
saying, though.
I rarely solo anything.
Good. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, like I rarely solo anything. I like kind of always work on stuff within the context
Fuck
of the
yeah.
mix.
Nice.
But I think
Makes
the
sense.
problem is I have tinnitus. You know, like you guys
Sure,
know this.
sure.
So like I have pretty severe tinnitus. So like especially hi-hats for the sake of hi-hats. Like first of
Yeah,
all,
I
I
could
do
see.
have bad hearing, and then but in every song that I like and in every song that I consider good and like well produced, I can hear the hi-hats. So I know that I'm not too deaf to hear hi-hats that are in good songs. So I hate when hi-hats are just unpurposeful and
Yeah.
just
and
not like
tinny and sharp.
yeah, just not serving a
Ugh.
purpose where like low volumes you can't hear them. Like I like an intentional hat. Like I like an intentional cymbal, like an intentional ride. And you know what? The simpler it is, the better for me as long as it's got like the groove locked in. And
Sure.
there's exceptions to the rule, you know, like really technical like drum and bass productions where like it's encompassed in the swing, but one of the biggest things, man, is like that swing that you can get in the hats is on point. And like
And the best way to do that is to practice changing them every hour.
That's a really good way to do
You'll
it.
get really good at making hi-hats, I'll tell you
That's
that
a
much.
really good way to do it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at programming some hats at this point because I redo them constantly. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why I'm fairly good at percussion because I fucking redo it constantly.
Oh, there has to be
dru-
eras.
I feel like drummers are like always kind of on point with electronic music. They're like some of the first ones to figure it out. Like
Yeah.
I
drummers,
agree.
like-
I've
But I
heard so
think
many
I-
drummers
but I
who
don't
like
think
blown
it's-
up, and it's like
I don't think it's because we just naturally can like write it better. I think it's because we're so nitpicky that we do it over and over and over again until we get it right. We still have to put in the same amount of work. We just prioritize it.
I think a lot of it is like
Right.
understanding like drum turnarounds too, and like the impact that they can have. Like
Sure, but it's totally different programming a drum than it is playing a drum. Like you can still hear it in your head and not be able to program it.
you're right, but like I didn't use a drum fill or like a drum turnaround for like
Sure. Okay.
years when
In
I
terms
first
of
started
that,
producing because like it's just like
Yeah.
That
Like-
doesn't make sense to me. How would you not
I know,
have a
same.
tom fill?
well exactly because like when
Yeah.
you learn a band where it's just like first of all when you're playing it I can imagine it would be boring playing like a kick snare
Right,
halftime
right.
thing. So it's like you gotta give it
Gotta
those
do
fills.
something.
And then, but yeah, I noticed like there's a couple of things. I think piano and guitar give you like good starting ground if you get like well versed in those. And then I think drummers and people that understand like rhythm and rhythm progression like do pretty well in electronic music production.
Dude, yeah, especially like EDM kind of stuff because rhythm is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Rhythm is so much. So
Yeah, it's
goddamn
like
much.
Gigantic, yeah.
Right? I would almost consider it like more important than melody.
In the underground,
and
I would
maybe
agree
even
with
tone.
you.
Yeah.
In mainstream, I would say melody is still like the 60%.
Oh yeah,
That's
absolutely.
fair.
So, like
Okay.
a
But
pop
in-
song.
Yeah,
I
but
like that
But in
comparison.
underground, it switches, and the rhythm is more important.
Right? Yeah, because even like if you think about hip hop, it's like generally an underground kind of concept, and there is like pop hip hop.
Yeah,
and,
and
whatever.
like stadium hip hop is more melody.
yeah, right.
Where you get more
Oh, that's so
underground,
weird.
the more the beat matters, and the
Huh.
more like the cadence of the rhymes matter.
Weird.
So
yeah, super weird.
so back to your initial
Kinda.
thing when you were
Metaphors.
talking about.
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. It's all grain of salt.
Yeah.
My bad. Continue.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. I want to talk. You said how big is your personal sample library?
Oh yeah.
How big it like? But do you mean personal samples you've made?
Yeah. Like purely just stuff that you've made, not just like in your library. Kind
Are
of.
you pretty good at like sampling yourself and like going through your old projects and stemming them out?
Nowadays, yeah, a lot more so. I usually won't like at the end of every song like export everything.
Sure.
I
like
kind of
every
build
couple
up.
months or something.
Exactly, yeah. And then you spend that weekend of just like, okay, I'm gonna go through everything, see if there's enough there to kind of save.
Nope.
But dude, I love it. It's so much fun.
Dude, it's been helpful for me as well. Like I started,
sick,
I
yeah.
started doing that maybe a half year ago, and
Okay.
like, dude, these days I almost exclusively sample myself.
Yeah,
bad.
Like,
Yeah, right.
I go through
That's
and
dope.
like I'll go through all the projects and just mixed and key them to
I'm
find
so
out.
proud of you guys
Yeah, me too.
for doing all this.
Why? You're laughing at us though.
Amazing.
I just want to make
Can't
new
tell if
shit
you're
every
serious.
time.
I just don't do that.
Yeah, I
I
just
I like love that you guys do that.
Yeah,
and
you
I
guys
wish
should.
That I
It's fucking.
did,
It's so sick.
but I don't.
It's
But
so
it's-
nice. It feels
There's
really
nothing
good.
wrong with like not.
No,
it's just,
for sure.
It's
Yeah.
kind of nice to like sample yourself, and then it's cool because I've been doing it a bit more organized lately. And then like a couple of them where it's just like, and dude, they're key. The biggest thing is tempo and key, where it's just okay. A song's in D sharp minor, which is like for sure my favorite key to write music in.
Nice. It's a good one.
Yeah, like I love it. And then
So
it's just
low.
so.
low.
fuck your E, D sharp.
yeah.
Sure.
I think it's just because it's the S on the keyboard.
The
Like
S?
on the QWERTY keys.
No, I
thi-
feel you.
I think it's just like an easy one to play on the QWERTY keys.
You've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah,
You're used
yeah.
to
I
it.
think it would be E.
Yeah.
I think S is just
Well, dude,
D.
that is definitely too mainstream for me. One up. But but it has been beneficial because just like almost every
Yeah.
song, dude, I end up like sampling myself now at this point.
Yeah.
where-
Same.
And
Yeah.
then after a couple iterations of that, you're like sampling samples of yourself that like might have started from like kind of a very much taken sample, and then just going through it, and then
Yeah, they're like slowly evolving along the little journey of that.
yeah, I was just trying to write a dubstep
Yeah.
banger the other day, and
Okay, cool.
dude, it took
Let's
me
go.
45 minutes because I had a sample of just like dope wobbles that was 2 minutes long of just like a straight mud pie of sweetness. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
This song will never see the light of day. It's not worthwhile. But like, it was just like, okay, that's my fucking sample. D sharp minor. The song's D sharp minor. Needs some bass. Boom. Like, I thought it
Lay it in,
oh, yeah.
sounds dope. You're like, ooh,
Right.
little tweak here and there,
Yeah, I
little
mean,
chop.
The side chain were good.
Yeah.
If we're talking about that, like I'll make mud pies and sometimes I'll reuse them. Not all the time, but sometimes.
But you
I will.
save them at least, right?
Not all the time. No.
I don't think it's
Save
Sometimes
them
if it's good,
all.
I'll
Very
remember
much.
and I'll go back to it and then print it out and then use it.
Okay.
But I don't like save it.
It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need to save it.
It's already saved.
I'll go get it if I want.
Yeah,
to.
right. You're gonna go into the project 200 files.
If I
have.
want it. If I want it.
Well,
I
you-
have.
Yeah.
You see the
Really?
thing
Yeah.
where it gets
Wow. Okay.
damn.
Rare.
You're a killer because I don't go into back projects. The only way that it's helpful,
So-
and it is tedious, like it has to be like a weekend thing, like we were saying. Like it's not fun work, but like we don't want to work on music because where it's helpful to me is just like it's time stamped and then it has a key associated with it. So like if I'm having a struggle with a song that I'm currently working on, I'm like way more inclined to use a melodic sample of like something that I programmed in like a, and then it's also neat to be able to just be like, fuck this song. I took its parts and like I don't care about it anymore.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite
Yeah.
part about it, where it's just like,
Sure.
and then I delete the project. Like I hate you because I'll,
Yeah.
I'll never talk to you again. Like
I'm in the same boat, but I
Yeah.
also say fuck it to those sounds. I'm also just like fuck all of it.
That's fair.
I don't want.
That's totally
I don't want
fair. Yeah.
any of it.
Right.
I want to make I want to spend an entire Saturday morning
Making
for
new
the last
sounds.
20 minutes to come up with a little bit of
I
sauce.
always like to recreate everything.
Yes,
That's
me
for
too.
Sure.
It's the process
For the
is
most
so much
part.
fun,
Yeah.
and you're gonna make different choices every time. So it's like
Yeah.
constantly new.
There's always something that I want to fuck with that's specific to like the time I'm in. And then there's a style that I want to fuck
good
with.
point.
Mm.
It's a good
Yeah.
So there's like a little cross section going on all the time. So it doesn't matter what I make. It's going to have this element of like whatever this thing is that I want to fuck with.
Mm-hmm.
And then however I like making things,
Mm.
drums or basses or
Right.
whatever in that moment. So
Right.
it kind of just like helps all the songs kind of feel similar without sounding like I'm using all the same sounds.
Mm-hmm. You're just making similar yet
A
slightly
bunch of
different
very
choices.
similar choices.
Right, exactly. They're all in like
Yeah.
the same school of thought, but you're slowly evolving all those small choices.
It is
Mm-hmm.
annoying though. I will give you guys that.
Yeah, because you're
It's
doing
not
it every
ideal.
time. Yeah.
It's not ideal, but
Especially
I
for
love
workflow.
doing it that
In
way.
in
Yeah.
our defense, it's a similar amount of time as it would be to like spend the time to print the stuff out, file, manage it, and then go back and grab it and sift through it. In that time, I could have made an already new mud pie and sifted through it as well and have the same amount of content.
Okay, I kind of
That's
see what you're
new.
saying. Yeah. I
You
still
know?
think it would take longer to make the kick from scratch than the time it would take to just export your kick from a song you already like, have it in the bank, and, just drag it and drop it.
Two things.
Two things.
One, it's not that hard to make a kick. I can make a kick super fast now.
I can't make kicks. I hate all the kicks
Well-
I've ever made. I fucking
Do you
suck
use
at
samples
it.
a
Don't
lot.
use kick too.
Yeah,
I do,
it's
yeah,
different.
and I
Yeah,
still
don't-
fucking
don't use
Oh,
kick
don't
too.
use it. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you use?
Dude, I stack those bitches and I synthesize an operator layer underneath it.
Okay.
He's just scared.
No, Kick
Kick
2's
2's
sick. I just don't own it. I don't use booted plugins because like I
Oh,
don't like
yeah.
upkeeping them across like multiple computers. But like Kick 2's sick. No beef
He-
with
Kick
it.
2
I
is
just don't
fire.
have it.
All his plugins are not booted. They're just sitting there
Unbooted.
unbooted.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Good for you.
Well,
That's
because like, dude,
insane.
I'm not like good at booting plugins. I'm not like good at like
Yeah.
downloading torrents.
But on
I'm not
Luke's-
either. The only reason I
Like,
have all of the plugins is because of one of our friends,
Yeah,
who I will
yeah,
not
yeah.
mention, but
That'll
it's the
happen.
only reason I have anything. Except
But-
for Serum. I did buy Serum.
There you go.
But dude, go back to your guys' thing. I definitely don't think one way is better than the other.
No,
I don't know.
I
what
just
you're
like
talking
Yeah.
about.
I
For
enjoy.
sure.
I
just
I
whatever.
like sampling. Like I enjoy like playing with samples. Like
I like samples too.
yeah, like I like samples, and then like I like sampling myself. But I'm not saying it's not worthwhile to like make your own mud pies. I'm just saying that.
But yeah, I mean it's
I do-
essentially the same thing. It's just whether you're heating something up in the microwave that you made last night, or you're deciding you're just gonna make something new. It's the same thing.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
You know.
I don't think that's
I don't.
exactly what
I don't
it is.
think that.
Really?
I
No?
don't think the communication is quite correct here. There is zero judgment
Yeah,
going
I
on
don't-
at
it
all.
sounds
Yeah,
like
no.
there's judgment over
No,
here on
really?
the microwave,
Really?
bro.
No.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm just
Listen.
kidding. I'm
No,
kidding.
no,
I'm
stop.
kidding.
If you microwave cooked potatoes, the second time they're better.
Yeah.
Oh, like
And-
Italian food?
N-
Because the sauce is
No potatoes.
That's not true. French fries are
Potatoes
terrible.
Italian food
specifically.
too.
French fries aren't real potatoes.
Italian food too.
What? What? I've been lied to my whole life.
Yeah,
No,
those
you
are small
heat 'em
children's
up.
fingers.
They cool down. The second time you heat them up, it like turns the carbs into like a good digestible carb.
Yeah,
or some
it
shit.
does something so it's like better for your system.
Joe Rogan.
It's super cool. But no, microwave is
Roganism,
dope.
let's
Don't.
go.
Hey. I'm not talking shit on microwave. I'm just saying there's two different methods. Listen, nobody eats more leftovers in this house than fucking me.
It's
That's
true.
true.
It's very true.
Yeah. No gray water in this bath, bro.
If there is, I'll drink it.
That's right. And on that note, we're basically done.
I still think
Wow.
though you guys should export the stuff you make though, because it's so much fun having a little library.
Dude,
and even
send-
if you don't
send
ever use it,
send
put
it
it
to
in the,
me, and I'll use it.
I was just gonna say, yeah, put it in our little pCloud folder.
That's fair. I would be more
And I would use the
motivated for
shit.
that purpose, honestly. If
I
would
other
be-
people were dropping their shit in there, I'd want to fuck with it.
Yeah, I
I'd
use,
be
I
more
use your guys'
motivated-
party B clap all the time. There's like one clap in the
There's-
folder, and I'm like,
I'm
ooh.
on that boat. There's an impact that he made. That's like my favorite impact ever.
Is it the white noise one?
Yeah,
because
the-
that one's so good.
Yeah,
It's like
burst
a,
at the front end.
yeah.
It's so
a
sick.
good one.
I love
It's a
when
good
I
one.
find one of those samples where it's just like
Yes.
this sample.
Mm-hmm.
I use it in everything, and then
Yep.
like, dude, sometimes
I
like
have a
those are
couple
my
of those.
favorite things about samples. Like,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, I think about sampling kind of weird, and this is worthwhile. There's certain times where I sample where like I think like sampling's a way to like pay homage to
Sure.
like what inspired it.
I agree.
You know,
Sure.
like, and I really love that element of sampling, like especially when it's done where it is like paying homage to like that thing, you know?
Right, when it's true.
Yeah. So like, I love what sampling can do on that front.
Right. I definitely agree. I love sampling. One of my favorite ways to sample is when it's random. Like I have a couple sample packs that are just they're from like some boom bap hip hop samples, but
Those are the
each
sickest samples.
each one of them have a goodie folder, and it's just random clips from like random bits of vinyl, and it's all just like it's
Old
just
shit.
like it's just like a random needle is dropped, and it's just like and there's a bunch of horns or whatever, and then it just ends, and you're like, huh.
Yeah.
Let's slow that down and pitch it up.
Yeah.
And do a bunch of weird shit to it. Let's slow it down and then pitch it up. It sounds the same. Why is this?
like, dude,
It's like
I made a song. I made a
glitching
song.
out at
Right.
that point.
Yeah. But I love that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's
It's
the
super fun.
shit. Especially when you like people, especially
RNG.
there's different ways to do it for sure. But like I used a Biggie Smalls one, the impact from Hypnotize. And
Oh.
like dude, all
Okay.
and dude, the song I want
I
you
think I
to
remember
know
that.
it's the sample from Hypnotize, and it's just that over an 808, and the drop is like boom, boom, like
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
it's that, and like it's a fucked up sample. If you don't know it's from Hypnotize, like I want you to know it's from Hypnotize,
Sure.
like,
Mm-hmm.
like, and I just wanted to bang over and over again over an 808.
Sure.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, think
It's beautiful,
Right.
you know?
I love that you're sampling Biggie over here. Fuck yeah, man. That's how it's done, dude. Some G shit.
What you doing over here?
I got all
accidentally
excited
closed
that
out of
someone was
something.
in the chat,
Oh, okay.
but then I realized.
It's just me. Folks, thanks for tuning in today. If
about
you didn't
that
catch the
time.
full episode, this will be out on our YouTube on Friday morning.
Woo.
And all those links are at always400.com. Go ahead and navigate over to the contacts page.
Do it.
Join the Discord. I put that link in the chat. It's also right below us right now. Also on YouTube. If you're watching there, again, always400.com. Guys, I'm telling you.
Just pointing
Join
at
the
fucking
Discord.
nothing.
Yeah.
You can ask questions. We can talk shop. We can, like, we're all on there. We're all talking
Yeah.
fucking nerdy shit all the time.
We'll give you dating advice
Yeah, like,
if you want.
how hard do you like to drive your threshold when, in the heat of battle?
Oh my god.
Like,
Or sex.
or sex.
yeah.
Oral sex.
Do you guys see why he's always the opener and
Oral
closer for us now? Listen to his wordplay.
My wordplay is fire. Dude, we-
it's like I will filter sweep you any day.
God
filter sweep your ass.
I will filter sweep you up.
I'm gonna sidechain the shit out of your
Bye,
low
folks.
end. Something.